The Somali Rebellion was a civil war in Somalia that occurred in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The rebellion started in 1986 when Siad Barre began attacking clan-based dissident groups opposed to his rule with his special forces, the Red Berets. The dissidents had been gaining strength for nearly a decade following his abrupt switch of allegiance from the Soviet Union to the United States, and the disastrous Ogaden War of 1977–1978. When Barre was injured in an automobile accident on May 23, 1986, rivals within Barre's own government and revolutionary groups became bolder and entered into open conflict. The revolution is broken into two distinct phases: May 23, 1986, January 26, 1991, events and revolutionary movements prior to the fall of Siad Barre, January 26, 1991, April 1992, events and revolutionary movements after Siad Barre's fall, but before the advent of the UN missions to Somalia and Operation Restore Hope. Repressions conducted by the Barre regime, persecution of the Mujahideen. In the aftermath of the Ogaden debacle, a group of disgruntled army officers attempted a coup d'état against the regime in April 1978. The leader was Colonel Mohammed Sheikh Usman, a member of the Mujahideen clan, which resides mostly in northeastern Somalia. The coup failed and 17 alleged ringleaders, including Usman, were summarily executed. All but one of the executed were of the Mujahideen clan. One of the plotters, Lieutenant Colonel Abdullahi Yusuf Ahmed, escaped to Ethiopia and founded an anti-Siad Barre organization initially called the Somali Salvation Front. The Red Berets systematically smashed the small reservoirs in the area around Galkayo so as to deny water to the Umar Mahmud Mujahideen subclans, and the herds. In May and June 1979, more than 2,000 Umar Mahmud, the Mujahideen subclan of Colonel Ahmed, died of thirst in the waterless area northeast of Galkayo, Garuao and Jeri Iban. In Galkayo, members of the Victory Pioneers, the urban militia notorious for harassing civilians, raped large numbers of Mujahideen women. In addition, the clan lost an estimated 50,000 camels, 10,000 cattle, and 100,000 sheep and goats. Systematic persecution of the ISAQ. The Isaac as a clan family occupy the northern portion of the country. Three major cities are predominantly, if not exclusively, Isaac. Hargeisa, the second largest city in Somalia until it was destroyed during the invasion of the Somali army in May 1988. Barrow in the interior was also destroyed by the military, as was the port of Berbera, formed in London on April 6, 1981, by 400 to 500 Isaac émigrés. The Somali National Movement remained an Isaac clan family organization dedicated to ridding the country of Siad Barre. The Isaac felt deprived both as a clan and as a region, and Isaac outbursts against the central government had occurred sporadically since independence. The SNM launched a military campaign in 1988, capturing Barrow on May 27 and part of Hargeisa on May 31. Government forces bombarded the towns heavily in June, forcing the SNM to withdraw and causing more than 300,000 Isaac to flee to Ethiopia. The military regime conducted savage reprisals against the Isaac. The same methods were used as against the Mujahideen: destruction of water wells and grazing grounds. An estimated 5,000 Isaac were killed between May 27 and the end of December 1988. About 4,000 died in the fighting, but 1,000, including women and children, were alleged to have been bayoneted to death. harrying of the Hawiye. The Hawiye moved quickly to occupy the south portion of Somalia. The capital of Mogadishu is located in the country of the Abgal, the largest Hawiye subclan. Somalia's first prime minister after the trusteeship period, Abdullahi Issa, was a Hawiye. So was the Trust Territory's first president, Aden Abdullah Osman. The first general in the military, General Daud Abdullah Fasi, as well as the initiator of the October Revolution in 1969, Brigadier General Salad Gaber, and the leading successor of Siad Barre, General Muhammad Farah Aidid, were all Hawiye. Since the independence era, the Hawiye tribe had occupied important administrative positions in the bureaucracy and in the top army command. However, in the late 1980s, disaffection with the regime set in among the Hawiye, who felt increasingly marginalized by the Siad Barre regime. Realizing with the South remaining stable, bringing down Siad Barre's regime may continue for too long, SNM created SNM South. For the town of Beledweyne in the central valley of the Shabelle River, to the town of Jofar and in Mogadishu city, the clan was subjected to ruthless assault. Government atrocities inflicted on the Hawiye were considered comparable in scale to those against the Majeerteen and Isaac. By undertaking this assault on the Hawiye, Siad Barre committed a fatal error. By alienating the Hawiye, Siad Barre turned his last stronghold into enemy territory. Faced with saboteurs by day and sniper fire by night, Siad Barre ordered remaining units of the badly demoralized Red Berets to massacre civilians. By 1989, torture and murder became the order of the day in Mogadishu. The Red Berets slaughtered 450 Muslims demonstrating against the arrest of the spiritual leaders. More than 2,000 were seriously injured. The next day, 47 people, mainly from the Isaac clan, were taken to Jasira Beach west of the city and summarily executed. The July massacres prompted a shift in United States policy as the United States began to distance itself from Siad Barre. With the loss of United States support, the regime grew more desperate. An anti-Siad Barre demonstration on July 6, 1990, at a soccer match in the main stadium deteriorated into a riot, causing Siad Barre's bodyguard to panic and open fire on the demonstrators. At least 65 people were killed. A week later, while the city reeled from the impact of what came to be called the Stadia Corner affair, Siad Barre sentenced to death 46 prominent members of the Manifesto Group, a body of 114 notables who had signed a petition in May calling for elections and improve human rights. During the contrived trial that resulted in the death sentences, demonstrators surrounded the court and activity in the city came to a virtual halt. On July 13, a shaken Siad Barre dropped the charges against the accused. The city celebrated victory, Siad Barre, conceding defeat for the first time in 20 years, retreated into his bunker at the military barracks near the airport to save himself from the people's wrath. Somaliland and Puntland. In 1991, the Somali national movement declared the northwestern portion of the country independent. Although internationally recognized as an autonomous region of Somalia, Somaliland, as with neighboring Puntland, has remained relatively peaceful.